Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another Idle Angels guide. Today I'm going to be talking about a tier list, but focusing only on the angels that you encounter in the beginning. So this is not a tier list for mid to end game. This is a complete beginners guide. I know that some of you are just starting the game and you are receiving some angels and you wonder, is this the better one? Which should I use? What does angel do? What are the other angels of this category doing? So I'm going to break down all the tiers, and then I am going to explain which angel is good in which situation and how to choose who to be your primary angel. On my channel, I've already made a few guides regarding angels focusing on main DPS as a beginner's guide, and pretty soon I will be do a lineup guide where I explain how to position your angels on the lineup. But today, as I said, we are going to rank all those angels. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. So first, we are starting with the end tier. In the beginning, you are going to encounter them and receive and pretty much max them out really easily, but we don't really care about them. So you will swap them really fast with the next tier angels. Don't really pay much attention to them. Just use them in order to go for the next tiers and push as much as you can. Believe me, they are all bad and it doesn't really matter which one you use. Now for the second tier, we are having the R1. First we have Apep. I would say she is a mid DPS. She has some damage and inflicts poison, which removes the possibility for the enemy to heal, but her damage is not that great. So you can use her as main if you don't get the other angels. Sif, she is the best one possible from this tier. She increases her own attack and inflicts defense reducement on the enemy, which will make her deal even more damage. Raf, she is a great support because she will buff your angels with more attack and defense, and also she will heal your angels. Lilith, it is a mid DPS because she needs the enemy to be ignited in order for her potential to be, for her damage to be maxed out, and early on you cannot really inflict the ignite, and even still Sif is the best option on this tier list. Then we have Shenong. She is a mid support because she is inflicting poison as well, and she can stun. But you need to know in PvE early on you cannot really stun on PvE the bosses, and this stun doesn't do anything for us, and her damage is not that great, so she doesn't even fall into the DPS. And then we have Nephis, which she deals some nice damage and she does some healing on the side as well, but overall what you care about is the Sif and Raf on this level. Of course, by all means, if you receive these other angels, it's not that bad that you have them. You will swap them as well really fast, but this is an idea of which one you can use primarily for your lineup and who to upgrade. And if you get those on the good DPS and the good supports, it is just preferable that you upgrade them rather than the other angels. Now we move to the R plus list. We have Anubis. Anubis is probably going to be the best DPS on this side because she inflicts a lot of damage, and then she can self heal herself, which will give her a nice sustain for the PvE. Then we have Nyx. Nyx, I would say it's kind of on the mid DPS. She has some damage and inflicts stun, which we don't really care about on the PvE. Then we have Jiwangmu, which inflicts some nice amount of damage. She is good, but Anubis is a bit better because she has the self heal, and Jiwangmu has the self healing. Then we have Pelandi, which is just complete trash, really bad DPS. If you can, and if you get her in the beginning, upgrade her just to help you push a bit, but then preferably swap to Nyx or one of the top. Then we have Iris. Iris has some bad damage and inflicts bleeding, which will kind of remove the healing from the enemy, but on PvE on lower stages there is no healing anyway, so I would say she falls into the trash category. And Geb, I would say she is not exactly the support type, but she is giving us the taunt, and she is helping us tank. So definitely use Geb even on later on stages. Let's say on SR you get a tank, you get a DPS, and you convert and inherit the gear to the SR rank. But for Geb, she can continue to be on your lineup first position in order to tank a few hits and help your team out more. So this is going to be for the R plus level. Now let's go to SR level. On the SR level, firstly we have the Medusa. Medusa, I am going to say that she is with more control and damage, which makes her good for PvP, but she is really hard to obtain, so we don't really care about her on the list, because by the time we unlock and have the potential chance to upgrade Medusa, we are most likely not going to be using an SR angel. Then we have Poseidon. She is a great support. She debuffs the enemy to deal less damage, and she also heals our team. So she is a nice healer to pick on the side of the team. Then we have Janie, which is doing a AoE, and her damage is not the greatest. That's why she falls into the mid DPS. Of course, every single angel that I put on mid DPS will help you push towards the higher stage on PvE. Don't get me wrong, but we are just showcasing which one is the best. Then we have Siren, which is a mid support because she does AoE and is a semi-control type. Of course, she can be useful for the PvP, but this guide is mainly on PvE. Now we have Newt, which is again an AoE damage with control that she inflicts stun, but on PvE stuns don't work, so we just completely skip her. Nick is going to be probably the best DPS because she does a lot of single target damage, and her multipliers are really high, so she must be the best choice over here that we have on the SR level. Then we have Aiden, which is really weak for dungeoning and for PvE. On PvP she will feel better because she lowers the accuracy of the enemy. You could use her in a semi-support situation for PvE, so actually I will move her to a mid support instead of DPS. Then we have Nemesis. Nemesis has a strong AoE, but same thing with Medusa. By the time you are able to get her, you won't really be needing an SR level angel. And then we have Phantos, which is with a strong single target damage. So if you either get Knight or Phantos, you will be good for the time. And then you have the Genie and Newt if you cannot get your hands on Nick or Phantos. So this will be the SR ranking. Now let me clear it out, and we are going to move on to the SR plus. Now for SR plus, we have Lucifer and Pandora. Lucifer and Pandora, they're like the same way as we just spoke about Nemesis and was it Valkyrie? I don't even remember. In Pendusa, sorry, it will be hard to acquire them early on, and by the time you have the chance to acquire them on the SR plus angels won't really be of use for you. So that's why we put them into the trash. Next on the list is Izunami. She is a mid-tier support because she lowers the resistances of the enemy and prevents them from healing. But on early stages of PvE, you rarely see that. That's why I've put her on the mid support because you can still use her. She's not a complete trash. There are just better options to go with. Then we have Zhurong, which I would say it's a really strong PvE pusher. She ignites the enemy, and ignites deals I think 4% of the max HP of the enemy, and she can do a lot of damage early on. So that's why we put her in the good DPS. Izu Dancer, she is a kind of support. She lowers enemy armor, she heals herself and increases attack, if I recall correctly. But the thing with Izu is that you are going to need a damage dealer that deals physical damage in order to have her on the most useful side. So I'm actually going to put her over here on the mid support. Then we have Princess Pari. She is really good PvE pusher. She deals a lot of damage. So if you can get your hands on her, that is a great opportunity for you. And then we have Fuxi. Fuxi is more on the PvX side. What I mean by that is she will help you with Arena. She will help you with Clash of Titans. It will be really good for you to have her. But on PvE, she falls slightly behind, in my opinion, to Zhu and to Princess Pari. But again, she can compete on Arena and on PvP really well. And lastly, we have Hephaestus. I'm not sure if I have to pronounce it like that. She is a good, really good support because she can cleanse enemy buffs if the enemy is using taunt, if the enemy is using damage reflection. This will help you out a lot by removing that buff on the enemy, so your angels won't suicide and kill themselves. So this is the SR plus tier list. Now let's move to the SSR. And on SSR, you will have the option to use 120 of your purple scrolls to summon for SSR angel. Now I'm going to break down which is the best DPS. If you don't get this angel, you might want to change account, reroll, and try to get those best ones that I will put on the good DPS. But it's not the end of the world if you don't. Sorry, basically what I'm trying to say is that if you are the type of person who likes to reroll accounts because they didn't receive the best possible chances early on, this is the stage of re-rolling for a new account and for a new chance to receive the best possible damage dealers of these ranks. Before that, it doesn't really matter and it won't really affect you if you didn't get all any of those which were on the good DPS side. So let's move to the SSR rank. First, we are going to have Odin. Odin does really good damage, but needs the enemy to be ignited to fully unlock her potential. So you will need someone like Zhu Rong on the first position in order to inflict the ignite, and then Odin to do the damage. And that really doesn't make it that great. Then we have Erebus. Erebus is probably the strongest option. It's quite arguably because she has a healing for herself. She does a nice AoE, and she does damage reflection and reduces the damage she takes. So overall, she will take less damage, she will reflect the damage, she will heal herself, and she will deal damage on top of that, which makes her a great option. And also her passive skills are giving her more and more attack and critical, which will help you push even further beyond. Then we have Hades. Hades has good damage and inflicts healing prevention for the enemy, but her damage multipliers are just lower than Erebus and the other angels that I'm going to pop on the good DPS. That's why she is on the mid tier. Then we have Nua. Nua is just basically a healer. She is a good support which you can use. She deals a bit of damage with her first skill, and then with the second she is doing some healing. So she is not bad, but preferably on SSR you really want to be pulling for the good DPS angels. What I mean by that is if you don't get the DPS on the SSR and you get those that are the supports, it will be harder for you to push on PvE compared to a person who got the DPS angel. Then we are going to go with the next one, which should be a Enmu. Enmu is probably the greatest support because she's highly used in endgame as well. So even if you pull her multiple times, don't worry about it. Yes, she will drag you a bit behind compared to if you receive the DPS angels, but she is highly used in the endgame, so those pulls are not wasted at all on her. Next, we have Gaia. Gaia is on the good DPS side because she heals herself while she is dealing damage. She is good for PvP and for PvE because her skills are AoE, so she can hit up to 6 people. And then lastly, we have Amaterasu, which is a good damage dealer with some control, which is used for PvP, but just her numbers are a bit lower compared to Erebus and to Gaia. So this is going to be on the SSR level. And once again, I do suggest you and enforce in a way that you focus only on your DPS angels in the beginning, so you can push furthermore on the support. And very soon I will be making a beginner's guide on how exactly to push main dungeon with those early on angels. Lastly, SSR plus, you will have the option of these 5 SSR plus angels on a event which is called Beginner's Bond for the first 7 days. You won't be able to summon your wanted angel as a free to play, so this is more or less for the people that are willing to spend a few bucks and are looking to receive a head start over other people. Now, Chaos is a really good support, kind of, because she's control and she's used for PvP later on because she can exile enemies, but this comes with her incarnation level. So early on, Chaos is kind of even mid to not really being useful in my opinion, and not really the best choice. But later on she spikes really well and is being used. That's why I put her in good supports. Then we have Icarus. This is your best option if you want to go with DPS. In my opinion, if you go with Icarus, you're going to be able to push PvE the furthest out of the 5 SSR plus angels. So going with Icarus is a good opportunity. Then we have Ra. Ra I put in mid DPS. Why? Because Ra needs a lot of time to scale. Ra is single target and doesn't do that well on PvE, and there are other angels like Himiko, Lucifer, Freya that could out DPS her even early on. So investing into Ra could work depending on how much you want to spend on the game, how fast do you want to progress, and if you are willing to wait enough time for Ra to spark, because she will need Enmu to be almost maxed out as well. So in a way, you will need the support plus the damage dealer in order to have Ra be insanely good. But for PvP, I'd say Ra does a lot of damage. So if you're not looking into single-handedly pushing the furthest on PvE, Ra is still a really good option. Then we have Hera. Hera is your best option out of the 5 because she is a support that is used until the end stages of the game. Basically, if you choose Icarus, Chaos, Ra, or Cupid, it's still okay. It's not that those angels are useless, but the most use you will find out of Hera, because Icarus could be out DPS'd by different angels. Chaos is not that great. She's just used as a control and utility for PvP, and Ra is just not that great of damage. And finally, we have Cupid, which is just not liked or loved by many people, because there are just other supports later on that are greater and that outperform her. That's why I put her to mid support. If you get her, you can use her, but she will not really help you on PvP or PvE. So that is why I have put her over here. Video got quite long. Maybe lastly, what I will say is that this tier list, I've put some thought, I've checked all of the skills, and I hope that this tier list will help you out and will be useful for you guys. Very soon I will make this beginner guide of the lineups and how you can upgrade, what strategies you can use in order to go to level 60, level 120, and how to push the fastest. But regarding the tier list of how and which angel to choose, this is my guide. So thank you all for watching. Leave down a comment if you've enjoyed it, or if you have any questions. I will answer them gladly, and see you on the next one.